As the president with the Reconstruction, he had to deal with a lot of criticism from all sides. And the most difficult thing was that Congress was very strongly Republican, almost more radical Republican than Lincoln had been. So they were at odds the whole time. Johnson quickly gained the nickname the veto president because he vetoed just about everything that Congress tried to do. And on the other hand, Congress stopped him from a lot of the things he tried to do. So he didn't have a whole lot of power. As part of his Reconstruction, he wanted to reinstate the southern states into the same grace they had had before. He didn't punish or execute a lot of the southern Confederate leaders, except for those who were at the very top or had done the most heinous crimes. He wanted to welcome them in more and to not establish too strong of anti-slavery principles. Of course, it was during his tenure that first the 13th Amendment was passed, which freed the slaves, then the 14th Amendment, which was the 1866 Civil Rights Movement, which granted former slaves and African Americans equal rights in terms of making them full citizens. He tried to veto the 14th Amendment, but the Congress didn't let him do that. But what he did do was allow the southern states to establish what were called black codes. By not specifically using the federal power to mandate what the rights and positions of former slaves should be, he wanted to leave it in the hands of the individual states. Now, whether this was because he was a Southerner and a former slave owner because he had freed all his slaves back in 1863, and he'd been paying them as servants. And he also freed the slaves in Tennessee a few years earlier. So whether it was because of that or because of his long-standing principle that individual states should have rights over what they decide, he wanted to leave this matter in the hands of the individual states. And by so doing, he enabled the states to decide whether they wanted to give former slaves certain privileges or rights. And they were thus able to put in these laws or principles, which were the black codes, and allowed the Jim Crow laws and the segregation, which would plague the South for the next 100 years. I'm not saying that all was Andrew Johnson's fault. Obviously, he was trying to placate the disgruntled South and trying to get everybody to be together again and be friends under the Constitution. And he used the same principles and policies that many of his predecessors had in saying, who am I to say that slavery is completely wrong when it's allowed in the Constitution? He brought that up several times. But I think the reason why Lincoln is this beloved, praised president who gets more pages in any presidential book, whereas Andrew Johnson only gets 1 or 2 pages and he's not that well remembered, is that Lincoln was willing to interpret the Constitution for his current day and to realize that slavery was considered sort of an unavoidable evil by many of the founding fathers, and they didn't feel like they could outlaw it at that time. But he believed that in principle they were against it, so it was constitutional to be against slavery and to find a way to make that happen through the Civil War. All these difficulties between Johnson and Congress came to a head in 1867, when he went directly against a new congressional act which they had approved, which was the Tenure of Office Act. They specifically created this act to keep him from firing cabinet members whom he didn't like. But he didn't care about this, so he went right ahead and fired the Secretary of War. By doing this, he finally gave Congress enough ammunition to impeach him. He is the first president ever to be impeached. The battle went on quite a while, as they had several counts against him, but he went before the Senate according to the principles set forth in the Constitution for how a president should be tried, and in the Senate, he received 35 votes of guilty and 19 votes of not guilty, just one short of the 2/3 majority necessary to impeach him. So he got to stay in office for the rest of his term.